Right, welcome everybody to another episode of Chris and Dave's Reality Cast. I am one of your hosts, Chris Phelps, and my co-host and very good friend is Mr. Dave Horrocks.
Hey there, Chris, and hello to our listeners out there. Welcome to our recap of the Bachelorette Katie season, episode 3. And Chris, I don't know about you, but I am definitely here for the wrong reasons.
What might they be, Dave?
What have you got to say first off on this episode? Because it was a bit up and down, wasn't it? But we've got to start off with our mate Karl, the motivational speaker.
Dave, he has got to go down as one of the worst motivational speakers ever. And what I've got to give him credit for, I know you said last week you're warming to him because like when these people leave, the whole show just falls off a cliff, doesn't it? But I'll tell you now, I love the fact that every time he got questioned, it changed from, there's a few of you not real. There's one guy not real. Well, who is it? I'm not saying own up. And I'm thinking, who is he aiming it at? The only one logically would probably be Aaron. And I've not seen, to this point, I'd not seen anything to suggest it was him. And it just went on. And Katie just taking it as fucking gospel that he was being up front. And when he stands there and they're having a pop at him, and Andrew S is going mental like in the American footballer, and he's having a go at him, and he's just like, not bothered. But Dave, and I know I'm jumping a little bit, the highlight of this whole segment was Karl doing fucking shadow boxing like he was going to have a fight with someone.
What was that all about?
That was Ricky Gervais 101, Dave.
You should have seen. You should have heard him in there, slagging you off.
Yeah. Oh. What did he say? Well, you know.
That was bizarre, wasn't it? Because he's just stood there taking it. Everyone's basically saying, "What the fuck are you doing?" And he's like, "Well, if you don't know, I'm not going to call them out. You know who these are." And it's like, oh, it's such like a little kid, you know, when a kid's like, you know, can't get themselves out of this lie. It's just, there was nothing plausible about what he was saying other than, look, Chris, a lot of them are there for the wrong reasons. You know, we always say this because the game is, you know, they have to pretend that they're not. But so, you know, statistically, you know, Karl's right. But we didn't see anything on camera which suggested, you know, someone's not only just met Karl. They're not going to go, oh, yeah, I fucking want to crack at The Bachelor, me. Or got no interest in Katie. You know, they're not going to say that to him. So he's just full of shit. But, again, Katie sort of demonstrated a little bit of whimsical decision-making there, hasn't she? Because, basically, she's taking Karl on his word, and she's all upset, and we've got the tears, and we've got the drama, and we've got all the cameras, you know, because Greg comes in, and they've got 2 cameras positioned perfectly to capture this conversation, and you know, she in the end, you know, it's what's his face, Mike? Is it Mikey, the old 31-year-old virgin? And I've just got to say, Chris, do you not think Mikey sounds like Stephen Hawking? Katie, I just want you to know we think Karl is telling you the wrong things. I don't know what it is. It's sort of the tone and his expressions of every word says to me, you know, he sounds like a Stephen Hawking, but he used to. But anyway, she just flips again. She's like, oh, well, Mikey said this, and do you all feel like this? What's everyone going to say? No, I'm here for the wrong reasons. Of course they're going to throw Karl under the bus. And so she just decides, oh, well, he is a douchebag. So, I don't know, I was all over on this one, Chris. It just seems that Katie just pretty much believes what she's told.
Dave, I completely agree with you. It was all taken at face value. However, the continuity people didn't get it right because Katie sits there at the thing and she's crying, oh, we've got the fucking onions and everything. She's got streaks down her face. Katie storms into the room in front of all the guys. Perfect makeup. So far, all right, I'm buying that. No problem. Then it pans back to her and she storms off. in the same position, doing exactly the same thing she did before she came into the room full of guys, with the streaks down her face when Greg come in, and I'm like, well, this has obviously been shot completely out of sync then, hasn't it, Katie? So I didn't buy any of that, Dave. And what annoys me, right, and I've written it down, is the fucking guys at Bell Ends. And I've had a quick look on our Facebook, and Lorraine and Charlene are so right, it's the same shit. Fucking Hunter, I hate seeing her like this. Mike P, I hate seeing her upset. Shut the fuck up. You don't even know this girl. You don't care about her. And whatever we think of Karl, because as much as he had to go and he's a dick, I can sort of understand what he's saying. Because he's not playing the game either. He don't want to be there. He's not genuine either. They're all doing exactly what you've just said, Dave, is they're there so they don't get fucking found out until the last minute. And honestly, it just makes me fucking sick. These fucking fake fuckers just going on and on how upset they are and all this. And I'm just like, oh, fuck off. It's just, with Karl, he was a dick. The worst fucking guy, motivator I've ever seen. However, I think his play was probably right. He was trying to call The Bachelor for what it is, but he had to go. So, yeah, that whole segment was just fucking nonsense. So, sorry, I've ranted there, Dave, but I had to get this off my chest.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's like, Mikey's like, Katie, we're only here for you. We need to protect you. Give her some fucking credit to make her own mind up. You don't have to protect her like. But the bit that made me laugh was the fact that when she says, if you've not got a rose, say your goodbyes, and Karl is stood there in the most awkward moment.
Yes.
Like, none of the blokes want to talk to him. He's kind of uncomfortably shuffling. He can't make eye contact with Katie, and then just shuffles off to the exit. I thought that was brilliant. That was my favourite Bachelor or Bachelorette exit, I've got to say.
I totally agree. But Dave, did you not see before we were crying out for fucking Chris Harrison moment? And Tayshia got it, Dave. The last fucking rose. Nobody can count in this room, Tayshia. So you come over and say, this is the last rose. In your own time, Katie. Fantastic, Dave. Fan-fucking-tastic.
You know what? When Katie had to take a moment because she just heard this thing from Mikey and all the blokes were saying, yeah, Karl's full of shit and we all agree. And she goes off, and then Tayshia, and I always forget the other one's name, whatever her name is. Is it Caitlin? Well, she goes off, and I'm like, oh, right. Yeah, you're just fucking waiting there. You know this drama is coming. So, that's why you're there. You've got no other reason to be there. And then they come up, this is the final rose. I'm like, So this is obviously a sacred part of the Bachelor experience that you've got to announce the final rose. So, you've got to spare no expense to have two people. But obviously they can't do it at the same time, so I don't know if they're going to share out, when it comes to the final rose to announce it. But yeah, it's fucking seems a bit pointless to have them there, really, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It does. And look, it was comedy timing. However, we get to sort of the middle section of the episode, Dave, and it takes I was completely off kilter on this. I didn't know what to expect. So we get this sharing circle, don't we? This sort of forum of them together.
Hunter, I prefer to think of it as, or the name of it, it's the circle jerk.
Oh, right, okay, the circle jerk. Well, there you go. So Hunter says he was married, his priorities were all over the place. The more he thought he was settling down and creating something for his family, the more he's pushing him away. He's got a son. That was quite emotional, didn't it? Then Connor tells this story, right? So Connor's crying on, this is really difficult. This is going to be so bad. And I'm thinking, oh my God, he's been to prison. He's done so. And don't get me wrong, it wasn't, I think he was saying like basically when he had his drink, he was an idiot. He got a bit too aggressive. He cheated on his girlfriend. But the way this story went was I was expecting him to say like, I've just done a 10 stretch or something, Dave. He was like built up into, and there was far more serious stories told in this. I know it's his story and all that, but it didn't get me. However, Dave, Katie's story, I don't even know where to start with that. I just find that unbelievable to, like, but he's so brave of her to share it. The only thing I would question personally is why would you want to, share it within that group? It's something personal to her.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm to look at it positively, there's going to be people out there in the same situation as her.
Yes.
And if people, I know some people don't watch it because they can't fucking stand it, but they listen to along for us just rip it apart. So I really appreciate. So, I mean, basically, Katie said 10 years ago, she ended up in a situation where there wasn't consent, is what she said. Now, the cynical part of me says, oh, come on. She was saying even her mother didn't know, wasn't she?
Yeah.
It's like, come on, this is not the time. This is a bit like on Matt's season where I felt it was even more kind of manipulated. Like with Matt and his dad. It's like, come on, you've had all this time. You really, for our evening's entertainment, you want to share this incredibly personal thing with the whole world. It doesn't seem like the right time to me.
Yeah.
But there's nothing you can sort of say more about that.
No.
She's obviously
No.
She's asked those guys to be vulnerable, drink.
Yeah.
And so that's what she's come up with to be vulnerable as well.
Yeah, and I agree, Dave. I think it needs to be made aware, and she may have helped somebody by sharing a story. I'm not. There's no way. You know what we're like for taking it. I would never take the mick out something so serious as this. I'm with you though. I was sort of like, surely the producers, why would you? Maybe she said, I want to say this story. Brilliant. It does up for me personally. I come out of it thinking, well, what's happened to this person who did this? Because she admitted she was in a relationship with him once, she and all that, and realised years later it was wrong. I'm thinking, well, surely did he get arrested? I mean, I know that's her business, but you sort of like it's an open-ended thing that she shared in some respects. So brave of her to do that, and total respect. But I just felt, I with you, I just felt that, is this really the right time to do that? Or is there ever a right time? I don't know. I'm not an expert. So yeah, let's leave it at that, because I don't want to go down that rabbit hole too much. But brave of her to do it.
Yeah, ultimately we're talking about something we've got no real idea about. I mean,
exactly. So
it seemed, she said she ended up in a relationship with this bloke because she was confused and a bit in denial, and it just doesn't compute for me. But I've never been in that situation, so it's just one of those. Who I did feel empathy for, Chris, was Hunter and his story. And again, without going too serious into it, it's the story he described kind of described my own path, but still, I look back and I'm not quite sure what I could have done differently. But you end up kind of trying to juggle all these things, work, family life, and marriage and whatever, and you just don't always get it right. And so I'm in Hunter's corner now, because I feel a bit of solidarity with him over that one.
No, hey Dave, it's nice of you to share that, but I will say you didn't end up on a fucking reality show vying for one girl, did you? So,
well, that's true.
Let's be honest. But I do think as well, Michael's story about he lost his wife, to cancer, and oh my god, this was just like, I've called out this show for like, let's just say anything to one up each other. I don't even think me, Mr. Cynical of anything, I don't even think, you can't fake something like that. I took it all on face value, and I was like, wow, it's such powerful stuff again.
Yeah, and I must admit, Chris, I was sort of welling up a little bit at various points. Earlier in the episode, Michael was sharing it with the guys, wasn't he, and about what had happened, and at some point he's going to have to discuss this with Katie. But when he was telling the story about what happened, it was like, oh, fucking hell. I mean, talk about having your heart ripped out. So yeah, and then later on he does get the single date, doesn't he? And he ends up sharing it with her, and God, I was almost gone, Chris.
Hey, it seemed very genuine. It really did, and the fact that he shared all that with her was great. I will say though, Dave, just moving on slightly, is we didn't think we'd get a bad guy like Karl. Well, up steps Thomas. However, I have got something in support of Thomas, Dave, because I'm going to call someone else out. But Thomas, fucking hell, he muscles in on Aaron. He does this big, weird, convoluted speech to Katie. She's like, the guys are like, this is just a fucking sales pitch. What is he doing? And then it just escalated. This guy come from nowhere. We'd not really seen a lot. And he just stepped up as the bad guy. It was great. Look, it was great. You have Karl at one side of the bookend and him at the other. But this whole way this played out was just stupid for me.
It's just Bachelor 101, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's Aaron. So Aaron's the one who had the beef with a guy whose name I don't care to remember from last week. They were both from San Diego, obviously knew each other, and he came up with that weak-ass excuse about, he wasn't kind, and there were some social media posts or whatever, and then Katie just buys it and goes with him. But, the thing is, here's what we didn't discuss in the circle jerk, Chris. So I felt like Marcus was just in a mode of verbal diarrhea in that, whole sharing thing. Everything he was saying smelt of bullshit. He was basically saying that, I wasn't sure what to expect here. And yeah, someone can build themselves a platform from here. But after I got here, you're amazing. And I'm like, bullshit. Right? And I'm like, and you could see the other guys were like, yeah, there's something not right here. I mean, we're supposed to be sharing stories about ourselves, but it's a bit of a sales pitch and it's not very authentic and believable. So, when I don't think Katie bought it either. And so she's trying to ask him, what are these things that what are these red flags that you've talked about? Again, it's very Bachelor, isn't it? You haven't actually spoken about specifics. You've just given general statements, and he just doesn't come up with anything. So that when he disappears and Aaron's getting his time, and he comes back and he's like, he's hanging around in the background, making it all uncomfortable, and then he interrupts Aaron and Katie, but then Aaron, again, he doesn't put up a particular fight. He just says, I'm a bit confused. And okay, he goes. And I'd be like, fuck off, douchebag. You've had your time. Put a fight up then and there. But it did remind me. Do you remember when Katie was trying to get time with Matt in Matt's season? And then Sarah, I think it was Sarah, was like, I really need to speak to you, Matt, about something. And then sits down there and is like, so how's it going?
Watch out for your tea.
And so Thomas didn't really have anything. I thought he was going to say, look, when I was younger, I did this, that, and the other, and these are the red flags. These are the things that you wanted to know from me, but I was also nervous. He breaks out the, how amazing she is, and just pandering to her, just saying nice things. And I'm like, yeah, that's all a bit of bullshit again. It's all a bit of a sales pitch, all very false. But Aaron is really not happy with it, and the lads start to gang up on him from there, don't they?
They do, Dave, and I think they're right to call Thomas out. However, this was my caveat. Aaron is a fucking mardarse, Dave. I'm sorry. He's an absolute I stuck up for him last week. I was with him with Karl, but I'm sorry. Thomas is wrong. But Aaron, every conversation, he's fucking moaning. He's taking the moral high ground with everyone. He is a fucking game player. And again, he's turning all the guys against someone. Karl made his bed and lied in it. There's no getting away from that. All Thomas has done, he's played The Bachelor. All these guys are fucking pointing fingers. The old saying is, if you point one finger at me, there's two pointing back at you. They're all doing the same thing. Do you not think that any of them, like Andrew S. is like, oh, it's fucking disgusting. I'm like, fuck off. Those who doth protest the most. These fuckers all want to get on The Bachelor. Katie got the nod in Matt's series and was like, do you want to fuck Matt off and become the Bachelorette? course I do. Let's make up some shit excuse and I'm going to leave because I was the favourite for Matt's heart and I'm going now. She goes, we know it's all fake. Not one of them really has an argument. And Aaron, Dave, every time I see his fucking face now from halfway through this episode, he's getting on my fucking nerves because he's just a game player and he's trying to turn everyone against everyone. And I guarantee you in a few episodes, this fucker is going to get booted off because he can't keep going around moaning, blaming everyone else.
Yeah, I don't think Aaron's got much chance. I agree there. But the thing, like you say, the hypocrisy of the majority of them, it just tickles me because, they're saying like, what are you saying, Thomas? Are you saying that your time with Katie is more important than my time? And he trips himself up here because the real answer is, well, to me, my time with her is more important. Yes. But he says, like, yeah, my time is more important. And everyone's like, oh, I can't believe he said that. Oh, the audacity of it. Oh, how could he possibly think that? And it's just like, oh, guys, fucking get over yourselves. To all of you. You're not there for a bromance. You're on this weird-ass fucking show where you've got one woman to fight over, Yeah, and well... If you're, let me put this to you, Chris. If their reasons really were to get engaged to Katie at the end, wouldn't they fight out? Wouldn't they fight for time, every last little bit of time, rather than focusing on the bromance stuff?
Yeah, exactly. Dave, look at Dale on fucking Claire's season. Fucking Claire was literally getting changed for bed and that fucker's hiding behind the curtains. Oh, hello, how have I got in here? I don't know, Dale. Someone's snogging fucking Claire. He's there fucking holding a hand. Yeah, that's what I mean. He's holding a hand and, you know what I mean? Like, she runs out of toilet paper and he pops up from the cupboard. Yeah, Claire, there you go. It's just fucking bullshit. This is what The Bachelor is about. It's nonsense. And I will say, Dave, what got me was it's the what I find really grating in this episode and watching it is the Bachelor innuendo chat that we get. Katie, I might be in love with this guy. Always, the chat's never, I don't like this guy. He repulses me. He's off. It's always the same thing to keep them all going. I might be falling in love with him. Maybe I'm in love with her. Maybe she loves me. Maybe I need... And it's all that... Let's carry it on for 13 episodes, bollocks. Because the whole dialogue, they've all been steered by the producers to say this'll sound good if you say, I might be falling in love with this person. It's nonsense, Dave. You know what I mean? It's just, it's for the TV.
They have to keep the fairy tale going, don't they? It's amazing, isn't it, that we can still get flabbergasted by the falseness of it all after watching several seasons of the same script, which, Didi had pointed out last week that, that's why people love it as well, seeing these same people in different situations and how they handle it. So, It is all a bit of nonsense, isn't it? But it's kind of why we love it as well.
It is why we love it. But Dave, you know what? And this is the last thing I'll say on the dialogue from people is, it's the fucking bollocks. When, Karl had done that at the start and we've got this with like, Thomas and all that. And it's the guys again, fucking Hunter and that. They're all like, this is like the worst thing in Katie's life. Oh, this is like the... No, the worst thing is someone's...
fear is that someone's here for the wrong reasons for Katie.
Exactly.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? That's your greatest fear? Ever?
And that's what I'm saying, but they're like, Katie's world is just coming crashing down around her. No, Katie's world would come crashing down around her if there was some serious life-changing problems, whether she loses a member of family, someone gets ill, or whatever. We all know what they are. We've all been through them. They are life-changing fucking things. Not someone called Karl who couldn't motivate fucking a room full of winners saying fucking someone was blagging her and they're not being real. I actually think what Karl said sort of came to fruition at the end with people like Aaron, fucking Hunter, some of these just playing the fucking Bachelor roulette. I don't agree. He had to go because he was a bell end. However, the way it all played out, he sort of kept thinking, hang on a minute, he may be onto something here, but he's gone now. See you, Karl. So, yeah, I was on a bit of a rant there, Dave, but it just makes me piss how they make it into such dramatic circumstances because someone's not told the truth to Katie.
Karl's main mistake, though, was just speaking the truth, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But on this, he's got to pretend. He's got to play the game if he wants to get further. If we went on there, Chris, we'd be fucking shit, wouldn't we? It's like, can you imagine if you're in that group setting and one of the guys is like, oh, Katie, I'm so here for you and I just want to be vulnerable. I'd just be there with a pint. Fuck off.
You've only known a week, you bellend.
Fucking Finchy, you were fucking telling me stories, that last week that make a fucking sailor blush. Bollocks here. So it's just, to get on in this game, they have to kind of play along with it, don't they?
Yeah, they do. And I am calling myself out. That is what The Bachelor's about, but it just... Fucking brilliant, Dave. It is brilliant TV. It sounds like we hate it, but it's just fucking dick. Well, but I will... Go on, sorry, go on.
I was just going to say that I did like, again, the guys have a bit of a... Oh, what is it they call it when they get someone? They have a bit of a, moment. What was it called?
A what?
When, like, a family, like, calls someone out.
Oh, a meeting, like a big meeting.
Family meeting.
Like family
not
meeting.
Fucking meeting. It's there's another word for it. I know what.
A gathering. A witch hunt.
Let's stick with witch hunt or a lynching. So, I mean, they get, Marcus, and again, they're all sat round very naturally, in those three walls, so the camera can get a front-on shot there, and Hunter is basically quizzing Thomas about his reasons there. And I don't know if there was a lot edited out of this, but, Thomas pretty much comes clean and it's like, well, I didn't know what to expect. But admits, Chris, that he's entertained the idea of being the next Bachelor. Now, again, a lot of the people in that room are guilty of the same crime, Chris, I put it to you. But actually speaking it out loud, actually admitting it, is a crime. And everyone's like, oh, I can't believe he's thought about being on The Bachelor. Oh, this fucking series that's been on for 20 years where we all like see these personalities regurgitated and provide social media platforms. Oh, he's here for those reasons that this show promotes. It's like, oh, come on. So, for some of the stuff that had gone on before, I thought, Marcus, he just comes across as completely disingenuous. He's not disingenuous. He's not there for Katie at all. But for all the other blokes to like gang up on him like that, it's just so fucking hypocritical.
It was, and you're right actually, because it's like, oh my god, the swine, the bastard. He is it's like you say, it's that unwritten rule you're not allowed to say. Everyone in that room, all the blokes in that room, Dave, were like fucking Leslie Nielsen on fucking Airplane with the nose. I mean, I know I'm the wrong person to say about the fucking my schnozzio, but the fucking noses were just getting bigger. At some point, they were going to be sword fighting with each other because they're like, oh my God, I am outraged. It's disgusting, this. Oh, you need to go straight away. Dave, give it a couple of episodes and they're all going to be fucking divide and conquer. They're all going to be looking out for themselves. They're all thinking about that social media career afterwards. We always take the piss about the fucking inspirational quotes. They're going to be on Bachelor in Paradise. They're going to be on an opening of a fucking envelope, aren't they? Let's be honest. Just like they are in the UK. It's a little media career that gets them a lot of money in a short space of time so they can buy a house or whatever. I have nothing wrong with that, but don't fucking insult the audience. We know what's going on. And look, Thomas is obviously going to go, but I do think, Dave, my prediction is Aaron could be next.
I'm not entirely sure Thomas is going to go. I mean, we see a little bit of drama, don't we, that, leading up to next week. Possibly the guys are going to be whispering in Katie's ear. She does have form for just listening to what anyone tells her and then going, oh, that must be true, and then acting out on that. So if enough people are throwing Marcus under the bus, then maybe he will go. But I do think there's a connection there. I do think she does fancy the pants off him, and so she might keep him around for a little bit longer. I reckon Marcus will stay around longer than Aaron.
Do you mean Thomas?
Thomas, sorry. Did I say Marcus?
Yeah. You've said Marcus a few times. I kept thinking, have I written the wrong notes down here?
Talking about Thomas. Duh. So, yeah. I don't know. The guy who's bullshitting and wants to be the next Bachelor and probably just blew his chances of doing that.
Oh, you know what, though, Dave? And you're right. Honestly, you're so right. But what was even worse was the preview. So that ends the episode. We get a little preview next week. And then Tace goes, someone from my past wants to speak to you, fucking Katie. And then we get, is it Blake? Fucking, who had no personality whatsoever, Dave. There was no reason for him to be here other than fucking he's going to be used on normal Bachelor in Paradise. He's going to be there. Maybe he's going to be the Bachelor. I don't know, but it just seemed like, why are you even here? There's no correlation between you and Katie at all.
Well, he was the one, wasn't he, Blake, who read a book on Alzheimer's? Which probably means he watched a 5-minute YouTube clip or something, but that he read that book on Alzheimer's for Claire's season.
Ah, yes, he did.
So that, he's all in for Claire, and now, he appears on Katie's season, and I guess there's no Wreck-It Ralph 3 that he can appear in.
2 is enough, Dave. 2 is enough. But that's going to play out next week, and Katie's going to be like, this is a real dilemma. However, when we've watched some of these people who've come in sort of after a few weeks, they don't last long. The girl last season didn't.
No. Was that Hannah, was it? Oh no, Hannah Brown was the one that she spoke to, the blonde-haired girl, which it was just such nonsense. They built up to it for ages, and they're like, "Look, we're all quarantined here. You can't possibly." Oh, yeah, you're in. I can't believe they're doing the same playbook on the on the season right after Matt's season. So I don't know. I didn't really see a lot from Blake to make me think, he's a better bet for Katie than these 30 other guys. That falls flat for me. It's there to stir up a bit of drama, ruffle some feathers. Maybe Thomas will get jettisoned out next episode, so we need to stir up the drama for the episode after, and that's when Blake comes in, maybe. But for the Blake bit, that's where I'm a bit more jaded. I'm like, whatever. Let's see what happens.
I know, I'm with you. I don't think he's got the personality. If it was, what was he called? Fucking Square Jaw Superman from the last one with the glasses. Fucking the one who was, I am more superior intelligent than you. What was he called?
Fucking was it Bennett?
Bennett. If it was him, then fair enough. Because he was the dickhead. But can you imagine him coming in and causing a bit of shit? Blake didn't do anything to justify being it. I think the guys are just going to go, Blake, there's a seat over there for you, mate. Keep your mouth shut and shut up. And that's all they're going to say to him. He's got nothing about him he don't look like he'd fight for Katie. So I don't get that.
This is like the third Bachelorette that he's been after.
And he's got nothing.
I just wish they'd come out and be honest. Look, I went home, I went back to my normal job, didn't really like it. I quite like just having a lot of social media. I like a lot of follows on Instagram, so people pay me to advertise stuff. Quite like that. So can you get me on, whatever season? Which one's coming up, Chris? Katie. Yeah, Katie. She seems all right. Let's give that one a go.
And you're right, because I bet he's got a fucking Hollywood smile now, Dave. He's been fucking advertising all sorts on fucking Instagram. He's got a fucking smile like proper veneers and everything. Yeah, it's just fucking bullshit.
Well, Chris, we do sort of love-hate it, don't we? But we are now 1 week away, or even just less than a week away, Chris, from the start of Love Island UK.
We are, and I saw yesterday, and there's too many of them, they started releasing all the contestants were released yesterday on the hour on their social media, Dave. So, I'm ready. I am ready, my friend. This is the big one. Fucking damn right I am. I don't care how fake they are or how fake body parts are on these people. I am in for Love Island, Dave. And if I don't hear someone go, text then I am out. But
I've got a text.
I cannot wait. Yeah, I've got a text. But Dave, I'm that serious about it this year. I found Jordan got the Love Island Cup thing with your name on it last year, but it now says Jord. The AN's misses, which says Jord, so we've had to throw it because it's in a bit of a bad way. But I'm thinking we should both get a Chris and Dave one. Or CD Reality Cast. Yeah. We should get CD Reality Cast because Chris and Dave could be anyone. We could nick that off Google and go, look, I've got my cup.
But I'm not sure if we're going to have time. Actually, Chris, I'm just checking. The press pack has been released for Love Island. So I have no idea when we'd get time to do this, but we should do an episode, which is a bit of a preview. Certainly if there's people coming up, then we can go through and just take the piss out of all of them, which is par for the course. So yeah, it looks like it's been released there.
Let's do it.
Now, of course, we are hurtling towards this car crash, aren't we? Because we've got the Bachelorette, we've got the UK Love Island, we've got the USA Love Island. We kind of want to do them all, but we need to take a call. So email us in, drop us a message or whatever. You know, should we stick with the Bachelorette? Should we switch across to UK Love Island? Should we do all three? That seems unrealistic.
You know we're going to do him, Dave. And then I threw Talk to Handle in there last week, and I was like, why? And you were like, do you really want to do that? I was like, no, I just wanted to throw it in there, just in the mix. Yeah. But no, I agree with you. I don't know. I honestly don't know how we're going to do all these. I mean, the UK one's okay, Dave, because it's on reasonable time. You know, obviously, it's just one of them things. We will do it, and Love Island is what this show was built on, and we can't let the Bachelor Nation down there because we've had too many people say you better not abandon this.
So we'll do something. I do want to see Katie's season out. I am kind of mildly interested in where it goes, but you know, just some of the nonsense drama on the way there. What we might end up doing is just shorter episodes, Chris. We might just end up, you know, pulling out the three major points in an episode, getting back to our 15-20 minute format. That might be a survival technique. But anyway, Chris, we're done with reality TV. Not forever, like just for this episode. Yeah. We're going to get back to our summer fitness challenge. Summer fitness challenge, weight challenge. We should really think about a proper name for it. But have you been getting on this last week with losing a few pounds?
Well, Dave, we didn't lose any pounds. We put on a couple of ounces because it was Father's Day over in the UK, and I think it was in America as well. And, oh, Dave, I went crazy. I got literally a kilo bar of Galaxy chocolate and destroyed it. We then went through white chocolate fingers, Jaffa cake. So I was still training around it. I went on I think it was about a 17-mile bike ride on Sunday just before all the chaos, but it didn't go well. So when I weighed myself today, I was a bit worried, thinking, oh my God, I'm going to undo. But literally, I haven't lost or put anything on really. So I'm still at the same weight, which I think is about 232.
Yeah,
I think.
yeah.
So, yeah.
All right, but at least you're not creeping back up. Now, I was a bit nervous this morning, I have to say, because I don't feel like I've had a good week. The football's been on, been drinking a little bit too much, which is my Achilles heel always. You have a bit of red wine, and then the Pringles come out and whatever. I don't know if it had an impact, but I did dabble in a bit of martial arts last night, Chris. So I went for the first lesson, which by 80s action movie rules means I've now got a shot at the World Championship.
At the title.
Yeah, I can have a go at Tong Po now. But I was pleasantly surprised. Nothing too great, but I've lost 1.2 pounds. So last week I was 189 and now I'm 187.8. So I'm happy with that because I was a little bit fearful that I'd gone back up again, just because I know I've had a crap week. But I think probably it's like a cumulative thing. I think it might have just been from the previous weeks where I was, you know, going for walks and stuff, and I just wasn't shifting anything. But yeah, so that puts me, if I look at the spreadsheet here, that puts me at 37% of the target, and you're on 31%. So you're still, still a good way to your target. Just have to probably knuckle down. I had the same kind of Father's Day fall off the wagon as well. So at least that's out of the way now, so we can get back to it.
Let's do it. No, let's do it. And that's good news, that, mate. You've lost something. That's brilliant. So you should be proud of that. So anyway, guys, if you do want to get involved and you want to, we're not going to publish anything of yours, but if you want to come along on the journey, give us an email at CD Realitycast. No, that's the social media at CD Realitycast, but you can contact us there, cdrealitycast@gmail.com. And honestly, we're just doing it for a bit of fun, a bit of encouragement. One of us is hoping to get into our Hasselhoffs by the summer. We're not sure whether we will be, but we're going to give it a go. So if you do fancy it, just give us a shout and we'll all do it together.
Awesome, mate. Well, it's another week, another Bachelorette episode in the bag. And all I'll say to you is, I'll see you next time.
Take care. Bye.
Bye now.